and I'm going to share my presentation in English. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you can see it. Oh, I didn't share my screen. Now I can share my screen. Here we go. So I guess you can see it. Okay, here we go. Okay, yes, I think that everybody knows me, but you know, I'm first welcome to everybody. It's very important to see people, to meet us here online, coming from all over the world. So a special welcome to all of you. I'm Patrizia Morgante, I'm Italian, I'm a layperson, and I'm in charge, I'm the communication USG, the USG communication officer. And we are planning to have these webinars on communication. We had already 2. We tried to have it in different languages. It's not always very easy. The first one was after the synod on social media and youth. And then we had another one on online meetings platforms. So how to use the online platforms to be in connection with our sisters throughout the world, and how to use these spaces for communication. So we talk about the video newsletter, so also letters from Superior General using like Zoom or whatever. So a new world. Actually, it's not new anymore, actually. So, and this workshop will be specifically on WhatsApp for mission. The theme that Pope Francis has chosen for the World Day of Social Communication 2019, it's a very interesting theme because it's here where religious life can say something. And the theme is from network community to human communities. This is very interesting because Pope Francis is very worried that we build up communities just around, just in the digital world, or just around some YouTuber, bloggers, so around a person. But he thinks that we have to build up, and in this field, religious life is a master, we have to build up human communities, but not only outside the digital world, but within the digital world. This is the challenge for religious life, in my opinion. As we usually start our webinar, we use a prayer, or in this case, I selected a quotation from the Laudato Si encyclical. I will explain why later on. Now I will leave you 1 minute of silence so you can read this quotation by yourself. Interior impulse which encourages, motivates, nourishes, and gives meaning to our individual and communal activity. I have chosen this quotation because this is the encyclical about the ecology, about our common home. But I will show you later on, during my reflection, Now there is another continent, another home, or perhaps it's surrounding the earth, that is the digital world. So we are talking now about media ecology. That means that words, images, video that we usually share in the digital world might pollute the world. We can contaminate the world with our voices. We live in a context where there are a lot of noises, rumors, too many data, too many information. So which is the role in this noisy surrounding about our religious life? Do we want to contaminate, or do we want to say just a few words that are able to reach the heart of the people? It's just a question for you. So we can talk about digital pollution. So to choose this one, I want you to alert to be very careful on what we share. I'm not just talking about fake news, because there are news who are true, but perhaps I'm wondering if we have to share it or not. So the theme for today is how and if we can use WhatsApp for mission. WhatsApp in English, for you it's easier, for us it's more difficult, another language too, but it's a contraction of two expressions: WhatsApp, how are you, what's going on, plus application. This is what this word means. It's the most popular instant cross-platform messages for smartphone. We have also others like Telegram, WeChat, but this is the most popular platform for smartphone. It's not a social network in a way, but it sometimes ends up to act as a social network. It's closer than a social network. It's more, and we will see that it's more suitable for internal communication than for a huge exposure. This is why now it's very important to use WhatsApp or together with other social media, because you can reach better your market. Sorry to use this word, your recipients, your public. I'm sorry to use these formal words, but I know that you can understand. We are communicators. The first release of this application was in 2009 for iOS, so for the Apple smartphones, and was created by two former employees of Yahoo that then they left because they didn't agree on how WhatsApp was starting to be used in a different way than the original. It's always like that. It's interesting that this application was released for iOS, and also nowadays iOS, so the Apple, has more tools than the Android smartphones. For instance, the calendar. If you receive an event on WhatsApp through the Apple smartphone, you can save it directly on your calendar. For Android, it's not possible that, perhaps in the future. Let's look a little bit of the history. I just want to say one thing. I'm sharing this information, it's not because I want to show that I read books, but it's because this kind of data are very important to understand which kind of communication we can use within WhatsApp. So don't look at this data just as data, but as information for us. We will take it also afterwards. So in 2014, Facebook acquired, so this is an important data. In 2015, it came up WhatsApp Web. I guess that all of us use it. You can read your WhatsApp messages in your browser through this website, this WhatsApp web. Using your QR code, you can see and use WhatsApp on your desktop. I wonder if this is a fair decision for our work. Even though all of us think that we are multitasking, we are not. And I work in the communication field, and sometimes to have the WhatsApp web is very disturbing to me. I'm just saying, I mean, it's just for our reflection. In 2016, they started the end-to-end cryptography that makes this application one of the most secure nowadays. But you can see, you know that secure doesn't exist in the digital world. In 2016, they created a program that you have to download that is WhatsApp PC, so you can use your WhatsApp without outside your browser. So this is the big difference between WhatsApp web and WhatsApp PC. In 2018, for some numbers in some countries, they are releasing the stickers. I don't know, I think it's not written well, I'm sorry. The stickers, but what is most important is what it might happen in 2019. This platform is now very, very essential, but Facebook has to earn money. So perhaps we will have publicity, ads, and perhaps through Messenger, they want WhatsApp be a mean to pay. So that perhaps in the future we can also use it like that. It's interesting that the changes will be after many years that we are using it. So once you are accustomed to it, you will accept the changes like publicity easier than at the beginning. If I'm not clear, please, I mean, I can't see all of you because, so if you have any question, keep it for later or observation. It's interesting, WhatsApp has a total of 55 employees, out of which only 34 are engineers. That means that there is a ratio of 1 developer to 23 million of users. Sisters, this information is very, very important. It means that WhatsApp doesn't cost a lot in terms of software, in terms of developing new tools. That's why Facebook is very interesting in WhatsApp. Okay. I don't know if I'm clear in my wonderful English. This is a very important information for us. WhatsApp was acquired by Facebook in 2014 for, look the figure, $19 billion. I guess that all of you know the saying that states, if the product is free, you are the product. Which is the interest for Facebook to buy WhatsApp if it's free? Because of our datas. The datas are the current currency, most important, the most important current currency. This is another important information for us communicators. 2.6 billion users, including all the Facebook platforms. So Facebook can reach 2.6 billion users in the world. It's another continent. It's the continent because it will increase. So for our mission, if we are not able to be with awareness and knowledge in this world, we will disappear. And it's not important that we will disappear. The gospel shouldn't disappear. We don't have now to talk about finance aspect, the dark side aspect of the web, but I want to have a webinar on that because this is very interesting. Because most of the platforms are free, so how they earn their money? As proved by Facebook, WhatsApp is worth more than the entire annual budget of NASA, which is $70 billion. WhatsApp has 1.5 billion users in the world. WhatsApp messaging volume overtook the world short message volume long time back. Who uses now short message? If I send a short message, nobody answers. This is a very important information. More than 1 million users get registered on WhatsApp daily. WhatsApp is responsible for 27% of selfies shared on social media. Average amount of time spent by users, I think this is the wrong data, on WhatsApp at weekly basis is 195 minutes. I think this is true. We spend much more time on that. This is the key information for us that we want to use WhatsApp for our mission. 70% of users are active on a daily basis. We think that one of the most important data for social media is how many people are there. No, it's how much time people spend there. So if I have a Facebook profile, but I enter once a month, I'm not a very interesting people for people who want to use WhatsApp or Facebook for mission. More than 700 million pictures get shared on WhatsApp daily. The features, the characteristics of WhatsApp might change from a country to another, not just for censorship. You know that in China, for instance, you cannot use WhatsApp. They have the WeChat. But you know also that, for instance, in some countries like Iran, for instance, the young people were able to penetrate the blockage of the government. So, you know, in the digital world, you have both. You have the possibility to control, but at the same time, you have the solution to overcome the control. This might be good. This not might be good. Other information. So what we can really do through WhatsApp? We can send text messages, contacts, position. I'm lost in a place, I can send the position to a friend of mine and he can help me, whatever. Photos, PDF files, audio and video. Audio, I can send music, so external audio, but I can also record my voices. Voice and video calls. I found this information, but I haven't ever used it, that for a video phone call, you can have until 4 people at the same time, but I haven't never done it. So I don't know, actually. You can update your profile and status. This is very interesting. You can put a video for 24 hours and then it disappears. This is very interesting. Before, at the beginning, WhatsApp was very essential. You could do just a few things, but now it's turning to become more social. So you can update your profile. You can also, we will see for the group, you can describe the group. You can create and describe groups. You can create broadcasts. We will see the difference later on. You can use WhatsApp web, PC, and there is, of course, a professional version of WhatsApp for business. I just want to see, I don't know how to do that now. I have to stop sharing. I will stop sharing just to unmute, to see if you have some questions, see if I'm clear. If you have some doubts, something that you want to say, I can just stop a few minutes. But you have to raise your hand in order for me to see you and to give you the flow. Am I clear, more or less? Okay, sister, here we go. Yeah, just a second. Just a second. Okay, sister, you have the flow.
I just wanted to ask the question, can we have these slides after you finish?
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you, sister. Thank you, Patricia.
Patrizia, yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, you're very clear.
Okay. I hope you can understand my English too.
Perfect.
Yes, Rosemary.
My question is, Patrizia, you said that about 70% of users are active daily. Is there any way of measuring how many of a younger generation compared to older, and continentally? That's my other question.
Yeah, I don't have this data right now, but if you Google this question, you will find what we call the social mapping for 2018. You also have some data. This is a good question, Rosemary, thank you. And we usually think that young people are in Facebook. Forget it. They are in WhatsApp. They are in WeChat. They are in Snapchat. They are in Instagram. So this information is important for a congregation if they want to reach young people. Otherwise, it's not important information. But what we can learn from that young people are used to grown up in a very fast, immediate, direct communication. Mm-hmm. This is good. This is not good. Because it's now how can I explain that in English? The horizon is very wide, but it's not profound. Uh-huh. Do you know what I mean, sisters? So I'm a social person, so this is my work. I'm not saying that the social media are not good. I'm just saying that this is a role, this is a very important role for religious life.
Yes.
Now everything is wider. Good. Mm-hmm. But now we have to help people to go more in depth. Also in the digital world. We can't exclude the digital world. We have to be there wisely. Mm-hmm. This is why it's so important that you are there and you have to learn how to be there. Mm-hmm. My contribution as a layperson might not be important as the role that you can play in the digital world as religious people, even though you are not young. Okay, let's go on. I will share again I will leave you a wider time but I just want to, let me see. Okay. Now let's go to see what do you need to use WhatsApp. You have to download the application. You need a smartphone. You need internet connection and the telephone number. You don't need a SIM card. This is why you can manage two accounts on the same device. For instance, on my mobile, I can have the UISG account and my personal one. I don't want it, but I can do it. So even though I don't have the SIM card within my phone, I can use the telephone number. Am I clear? Okay. Once you start using the application, you share all your contacts detail with its server. It means that you send all your contacts, your address book to them, because otherwise you cannot find your friends, your contacts. You cannot communicate with them. What are the characteristics? It's a very essential space. This is an important information because we live in a world of many, many inputs. And sometimes I heard that religious sisters find Facebook or Instagram very confusing because our generation didn't grown up in this world, so we have learned. So WhatsApp is a very essential application also for elderly sisters. I heard very nice, good practices from congregations using WhatsApp with old sisters. I see that some of you are writing on the chat. I don't know if I can see, I can visualize it. Here we go. Look, we learned. Oh, I'm sorry. Bye-bye, Colette. You can listen later. That's right. That's right. That's what I meant, Annie. It's to maintain two accounts using one telephone number, one smartphone. The telephone number should be two different, okay? But perhaps it will change, huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Touch here. Communication is immediate and direct. This is very important, sisters. 90% of users read messages sent by WhatsApp. 45 persons out of 20 or 256 usually answer. I will tell you why 256. When I send a newsletter from the UISG, nobody answers. It's normal because it's not a dialogue. It's okay, look, this is the information. WhatsApp is a way to send information, but also to have the possibility to have some feedback. Let's go now to see what is most important for us, the difference between groups and broadcast. Here we go. Profile, the profile is individual, end-to-end cryptography. You can share photo, you can put your photo on the profile and you can change your status. You can also block people and they don't know that you blocked them. But for this webinar, what is most important for us is group and broadcast. I can create a group merging my adding my contacts. So in the group you have an administrator. If I created the group, I'm the administrator, and the users. These two roles are very important because if I'm the administrator of a group of provincials, it's important, we will see later, that we'll give guidelines, we share ground rules to run the group. A group might have 256, again this number, members maximum. So you have to, for instance, for UISG, we are planning, we are writing our strategic communication for WhatsApp during these days. So I'm fresh on this topic. And the first challenge is the members of UISG are 1,900. So what are the criteria I have to set to have groups, even though I will start a thing with broadcast? In the group, the communication is all to all. This is very good to nurture relationships, but this is very dangerous because in one day, if you belong 10 groups, you can find 200 posts to read. So this is a question. We have to use wisely these spaces. Imagine to go around the street and talk to everybody. It's impossible. But this webinar, the idea of this webinar came to me because I'm observing how religious sisters are using WhatsApp. And I'm not very happy of that because I received in my personal a lot of stuff. And it's not, in my opinion, it's not useful. I will tell you something more later. The users can leave the group even though the administrator, it doesn't depend on the administrator. Any member can leave the group. The broadcast is completely different. The broadcast is like an email sent in BCC. So I'm the administrator. I decide the people who will be part of this broadcast. And I will send them what I want to send. The number of members is the same, but there are differences. Users do not know the other members. They are not aware of being part of a group. The communication is one-to-all. I will give you an example. A monastery of nuns in Italy set a broadcast, but they were very good because it's a daily broadcast to people sending a very short comment on the daily, about the daily gospel reading. But they were very clear in the guidelines when they set the broadcast. So they explain what we are going to receive from them, and they do not send anything else. And if they do that, they explain why. I'm telling that because communication now is very confused. So if we are just one point in the thousands of dots in the network, we don't make we cannot make the difference. But we want to make the difference, in my opinion, otherwise we don't spend time on that. In the broadcast, users cannot leave the group. You have to ask the administrator to cancel your profile. These information are very important for business, because now we talk about digital marketing, web marketing, instant marketing. How or why I use WhatsApp? For personal reasons, friends, family, colleagues, sisters of my age, or initial, for instance, a group of sisters who attending the initial formation together. So when I use it for personal reason, the goals of the group, I'm talking now about groups, not personally, because it's not. What is most important is groups are broadcast. The goals are foster bonds and nurture relationships and sharing news. For instance, I have a group of my family. My husband have a group of his family. If I receive news on my group and my husband is the person in common in the two groups, the news on my family might be interesting also for his family. So he is the bridge person. You know what I mean? It's interesting. Even though the groups are separated, we can be bridge people. But the two groups are different. You can imagine, I don't know if my family might be interesting on my husband's family. Do you know what I mean? It depends on the goal of the group. If the goal of the group of my family is to strengthen and to share information easily, there is no sense to be connected with another family, where the information are different. But having people in common, it might be interesting to connect for important information, the two groups. I want to share a good practice that is very personal because it's my office. We started the USG colleagues group 2 years ago. And we were just a few of us. Then some colleagues left and we didn't cancel them because the goal of this group was not to share information about our job at the USG, was just to strengthen our relationships. So it was very interesting. 3 months ago, we were having our coffee and one of my colleagues said, oh, now I have WhatsApp, so you can add my name. I'm the administrator. You can add my name to the group. Oh, fantastic. We were talking about an issue came up in this group, and other colleagues said that they didn't want to be added at the beginning. And suddenly, all of them said, no, but I want to be there. I want to be added in this group. So now we have a larger colleagues group. But what I've learned there, information now is power. If you don't have information, you are excluded. So to be in this group was also a source of joy, a source of feeling part of a sort of community, actually. So they felt excluded. We didn't want to do that, but they felt that. We can use WhatsApp for internal communication among congregations, communities, province members. I know that there are congregations who are using that, a group of provincials, group of secretaries. What is important, sisters, is the goal of the group. Otherwise, we are overwhelmed by information. And we have to keep people on this goal. If the goal of a provincial group is to share good practices or to share information to work better, it's not necessary to say good morning each morning. You know what I mean? It's impossible to deal with this kind of information. What are the goals for this kind of groups or broadcast? I would say groups, actually. Foster bonds and nurture relationships, sharing news events as the personal use. But then I would add the sense of belonging and membership. Take decision or set meetings faster. Sometimes you have to send an email, then nobody answered. This very fast. You can send documents and files. You can also support, express your solidarity to sisters or community in hard situation, where sometimes it's very difficult to have internet, but it's easy. Oh, I'm sorry, I create this one. But it's easy, for instance, to send a WhatsApp message or a voice message. Imagine your superior general or a person, a sister of a congregation who might send an audio message or a video to the sisters who are in a residence or they are sick. It's completely different than send a letter. Please don't tell your superior general, don't send letters anymore. I'm joking, but we can find new ways to communicate that are more human. We can use WhatsApp for internal communication, but I have some tips. Sorry, perhaps I feel you can find me a little bit rude, but you can then choose what is useful for you or not. Set some ground rules for the group. What is the group for? I used to do that also for the Facebook group. Because if the Facebook group is to share good practices for communication for religious sisters, there is no need to publish there a news for a meeting on migrants. Because it makes confusion to people. If I belong to a group, I expect from this group certain communication and a kind of information. Do not be good morning people. I know that in Italian we say buongiornisti, the people who say good morning to all the groups they have. I think they spend 1 hour to do that. And then all the people answer back again. It's a chaos. I don't know. I'm wondering if this is good communication or not. I don't know, because here appears this, oh, I'm sorry. Before sharing anything, please ask yourself some questions. Is it true, this information? Is it good to share it? Is it respectful to share it, considering the culture of my congregation? The sensitivities of my congregation? Do not overwhelm people with posts which do not make a difference in their life. Okay, this is the worst point, the last one. I invite you to have a careful use of holy images and religious videos. Last Christmas, my sisters, I received on my WhatsApp, I'm not joking, 100 videos from religious sisters. Beautiful, about Mary, Joseph, whatever, Christmas, all beautiful. But I couldn't see no one of them, because I had to spend time with my family and because they do not make any difference in my life. I would prefer to listen one of you saying, today we are celebrating Christmas in South Sudan, and we are celebrating with 10 people who have never had this kind of celebration. I don't know, I'm joking. Do you know what I mean? We have to make the difference in WhatsApp. This is the most important thing, external communication. I want to create a group or broadcast with the congregations, with other congregations within my country, with associates, lay people, volunteers, young people, parish members, whatever. Some tips again. Make sure that the group members know the goal of the group if you are the administrator. And the other tips are the same. This is very important. This is my suggestions to be more effective. This is what I'm trying to do. We need to have a strategic plan for WhatsApp. The strategic plan is helpful for external communication. For instance, we are planning the plenary. So my goal is to create a broadcast or a group, I didn't decide yet, of the participants of the plenary, of the USG plenary. So which kind of strategic communication I have to do with them? What they expect to me? Information, prepare them on the issue, on the theme. So perhaps I can send information about the speakers. I can send some documents about the themes that we are going to talk about during the plenary. And to have this strategic plan is very important. What are the goals of my communication? What I expect as result, which is the change that I expect from people. Sorry for being too much, perhaps, business or professional, but this is my role, to be a little bit business, and then the better part, that the spirituality and the humanity, you will put it in, okay? Because you are more expert than me on that. And then I have to organize the content. The content is not just a text. And then I can integrate the content with other social media. Now it's normal to have the bottom of WhatsApp on my website. If you don't have it, put it there, because you allow people through this bottom to share your articles through WhatsApp. This is a very simple way to organize our strategic plan for WhatsApp. When I say phase, this is very important. For instance, I'm organizing the plenary. So I have a before, a during, and after. Before, I will send a different kind of content. You know what I mean? So it's a different kind of content per each phase. Then I write here the content. I write the date and time I want. Well, you can do that weekly. You can do that monthly. This is a good tool also for other social media. But for WhatsApp is very important if you want to plan a campaign. Date and time. Other social media, how I'm going to share through other social media the same content. And then it's important to highlight, to take note, to take track of the feedback. Okay, we'll try to answer your question. Can you explain what you mean by essential space? Okay, how do we get the WhatsApp share bottom? It depends on on the software that you use for your website. We have a WordPress, and you can have I don't know if you have a technician or you have, someone who might insert this bottom as you insert the other social media bottoms. Okay, and the question about essentially means that there is not very difficult to use. There are not a lot of bottoms. There are not a lot of tools to use. In Facebook, you need an academic degree each day, because each day come new bottoms, new options come up, and you have to learn how to use it. So WhatsApp is very essential. It's very simple to use, actually. And if you see WhatsApp, Rosemary's question about the statistics, if you see all people use WhatsApp at all ages. So this is why so I hope it won't change too much. Okay, I have some other inputs for you, and then we close. I will leave you a time for comment. Some tips to make our post sexy. Sorry, I don't want to scandalize you, but in this case, sexy has nothing to do with sexual. But in the world of communication, if your message is not nice and easy to read, nobody will read it. I receive 50, 40 emails per day. There are emails that are very hard to read. I will show you why. This is some very stupid tips to use in WhatsApp to change the font, for instance, to make the bold, to make italics, and now to tag people. If you are in a group and you want to talk or to address your message to a member of the group, you can tag. Just add the @ before the name, and she will notice that it's for her. Diversify your message. If you have the campaign, for instance, for an event or for the anniversary of the foundation of the congregation, whatever, don't use just words, text. Use images with text or just hashtag. Use audio, video, links, whatever. Diversify. This is why it's important, this planning, because you can have you can visualize what you are putting. And if you have 10 texts, you can realize that it's not a good communication. It's important that we explain people for external communication who we are, what we are sharing, what we are sharing, what we expect from them. The message has to be very clear. You don't have to say everything in one message, but in your strategic planification, you have to make sure that all this information are there. And then you have to engage people, to have a call to action. Share this message with your friends, or I don't know, whatever. Make a donation, I don't know, or just turn the light, I don't know, it depends on the campaign. This is an example of, in my personal opinion, of a good text. The second one, it's the same text. The green one is everything together. When you receive a message like that, it's so difficult to read it, to interpret it. We are always in a hurry. We have to facilitate the life of our users if we are the administrator. We have to give them things ready as much as possible. So the second screen is the message. Different. It's the same, the text, but you can read it easily. The first sentence might be, just, it depends on the relationship that you have. Is it formal and informal? But I don't know. The second might be what we are asking, the goal, the object of the email. And the third one will be an agreement, what I expect, what I would like you to do in response. Okay, I know that it's really just a beginning, because the most challenging is how to plan a campaign, to plan a strategy on WhatsApp. So this is just some ideas. Okay, I see here different question. I don't know if I'm able to answer all. Okay, let's see. How safe is WhatsApp platform? At the moment is one of the most secure, actually, because of this cryptography. It's very difficult. But secure is very interesting in the digital world. Let me see if I have other questions here. No, okay. So please feel free to share some practices that you have in your congregation. We have 10 minutes, but if you have to leave, please feel free to leave. I would like to give you the flow. So if you can just raise your hand, you can raise your hand on the video, but also there is a button so I can see you, because here it might be difficult to see all of you. Okay, Sister Daisy, you have the floor.
Yes, I really want to thank you for this wonderful presentation, and I'm very happy that I participated in it.
Sister Daisy, do you use WhatsApp?
Yes, I do use.
In your congregation?
We have a group for the province, And personally, if I want to send something, very minimum I use, because I don't waste my time on WhatsApp. But when it is necessary to send something, I send it.
Thank you, Sister Daisy. It's interesting that we say, waste our time and not invest my time. It's interesting. Sister Patricia.
Our sisters are using WhatsApp in Francophone Africa, specifically as we celebrate the Jubilee this year. And that's brought in so much dynamism and so much participation because they use WhatsApp so much more than we here in the United States do.
Thank you, Patricia. Yeah, we can also create temporary group and not, but after a celebration where we invest a lot of energies in communication, when we stop communicating with people, this is not good, this is not fair. We have to find another way to keep the communication on. We have to be very creative, you know. Trying to see if there are people. Please feel free to share your experience. Yes, Ebele, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Patricia. I really enjoyed what you said. It's very useful for us here. I have a question. You said something about young people, because we have a platform in Facebook for young people, for vocation for young people. But what you said now is very interesting. I'm seeing the light there. It's easier and faster to use WhatsApp. Can you make it more clear, as in creating a group for young people, communicating with them there is actually faster and more effective? Are you trying to say that we should leave the Facebook and just face WhatsApp, or use both? What do you think?
Yes, I'm not an expert on young pastoral, actually, youth pastoral ministry, you know, but what I can suggest from a communication point of view, but this is very personal, is that the risk, it's difficult to animate young people. Because you can send wonderful videos, wonderful holy images, but I'm wondering if you create an engagement in Christian life. Because when we want to engage people, it's not just to pray more, but it's also to make a difference in their life. I don't know if I'm clear or...
Yes.
So you need a very professional communication. So if a congregation, the charism of congregation is very focused on young, you need to employ a person for that, in my opinion, because you need a professional help. There are I don't know if you see the videos of the Pope, that the Pope does each month.
Yes.
You cannot imagine how many hours of work, of preparation are behind this 1 minute video. It's a huge campaign, but it's effective. It's very effective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's better to do 1 minute video once a month than make 10 videos of 50 minutes that no young people will watch it.
Yeah.
We have to listen to the young people, what they expect. I have other questions here. I will try to read it. Do you have a suggestion of best practices? Aiuto? Yes, multiple languages. Yeah, this is very challenging, Karin. And perhaps one option is to have I see just two options right now, but I'm just a beginner. So perhaps you have other solutions. First is to have a languages group, or to have a multilingual group, but with no more than 2-3 languages. Otherwise, it's where you translate the same messages. But with that, you have to be very careful on how and what you publish. Do you have suggestions of best practice for sisters so they do not put inappropriate message on WhatsApp? Yeah, this is a formation, sister. Like this one, like others, establish set time of formation within your congregation. Call a person to facilitate the meeting and help and reflect among you also. Because when a sister publishes something on whatever platform, is not just the sister. She's the face of the congregation, even though I'm in my personal profile. Do you know what I mean? Now it's very difficult to separate what is public and what is private. A 40 sister is more difficult because of the habit, because people are very ignorant about religious life. You are not Dominicans or Franciscan, you are nuns. Whatever contemplative, whatever active life, you know what I mean? So we have to be very clear and careful on what we say, how we say. I find that some sisters are a little bit obsessed, have an obsession of sharing everything. Like, share. It's not time for that. We have to be very careful, because also in Facebook, not in WhatsApp, but in Facebook, there is our digital history. We have the digital identity made by our clicks, our posts, our likes, our comments. So which kind of identity comes up from that? We have to investigate, we have to see. No, Beth left, but I will tell her later. There is not a limit of the number of groups that you can create. There is the limit on number of members, actually. We didn't talk a lot about WhatsApp, about broadcast. Because in the group, everybody talk. In the broadcast it's like, it's not interactive, but you are sure that that people will receive the information. So it depends on the goal. Which is the goal? Before create a group, before doing anything, just ask yourself the goal and the outcomes that you expect, the results that you expect. I'm reading the questions. I don't know if you want to add something, please. Feel free, you can raise your hand. I'm checking your faces, if I see. I see here about the poor internet connection. Yes, Sister Alfonso, you have the floor. Just I want to conclude this one. That for instance, in Africa, sisters find easily to connect through WhatsApp. Yeah.
Yes. That is what I want. I want to say that we find the WhatsApp the fastest means, especially during this year of our preparation for the chapter. We can hardly get information to Africa through emails or so. So there is an official forum where information is sent to the sisters, and then there is a general forum, and we find it excellent because the difficulties of connecting with emails and so on are terrible, but WhatsApp is the easiest and we find it excellent, especially this year. So thank you for the information you have also given about the tips for creating. That is very, very important, because we just see that people are just creating groups and you don't know what are the goals of the group. But this information today is very, very useful. Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you, Sister Alfonso. Yes, of course, you need connection. You need Wi-Fi for WhatsApp, or you need the connection. If you send a text message, you don't need a lot of data. But if you send how you call a document, if you send photos, videos, yes, it takes. But short message, at least it's easier to send. Okay, yes, Patricia.
Could you tell us again when these webinars will be repeated in other languages?
In 20 minutes in Italian. And we will have it also in Spanish, but in 2019, January on. Now we are.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I don't know if you have other comments, or I'm very happy to see people that I know. I'm very happy. Okay, sisters, I think that we can close. I just want to tell you the next webinars that will be not on this issue, but will be December the 5th, will be just in French and will be about the theme of the Pope for next year. And in Italian will be the last one for this year, about the word, how we use as religious sisters our word with W, small w, but we are the service of the big W word. Okay, so these are the next, but I want also to, already that we have an handbook that we created. Now it's ready also in English. We will send it out in a couple of weeks. We are waiting for the communicators for women religious of the United States to do it together. So this handbook is a very simple tool for religious life. There is almost nothing on how religious sisters use communication. This is a very basic tool that we can use and add and increase. And these are the spaces of UISG for keep alive the communication with for religious life. Of course, these spaces are most for communicators, but you might be interested too. I will try to send you this kind of information, but you will find everything on our platform. And okay, stop sharing. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your patience. You are very smart people because you were able to understand my English. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Accent is very, very good.
Thank you.
have a nice day, all.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was very useful.